Has your Halloween candy ever made your mouth bleed?
Well, it has once for me when my great aunt Helga, 4 times removed, came up to me one time and was like, "Hey, you want to try this?" And she gave me like some like candy at the bottom of her purse, but there was something in it that made my mouth bleed, and that wasn't cool.
Turns out she was Ted Bundy Jr.
Today we are going to be reading "Always Check the Candy." It is a story by Mac Ralston. They have a couple of books on Amazon. Looks like the most popular one is Ka Muffins, a horror anthology of just desserts is the description. Got pretty good ratings, so pretty cheap. Go check them out if you like this story. Yeah, we're gonna be reading that today because Halloween spooky scary candy.
Makes your tongue bleed.
Well, maybe we don't know. We haven't read it yet.
You ever suck a Jolly Rancher so hard it makes your tongue raw?
It's not fun.
No.
Also, we wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing to the channel in the past few weeks, liking the videos, commenting. We love to see it. We're happy you're enjoying the videos, and we're going to keep making stuff that you like. So give us recommendations and all the cool stuff. And yeah, also shout out to Fubs with the Monster High picture because slay.
Let's do the damn thing then.
Okay, stop yelling. God. So this is always check the candy. Always check your children's Halloween candy. Always. I'm not saying this to fearmonger. To tell you the truth, I realize that most of the candy handed out on the holiday is likely purchased at the Walmart the day before and shoved into a plastic pumpkin-shaped bowl. And you probably have realized that most sane people don't poison candy or put glass in it or whatever cautionary urban legend you've heard. The only guy who did do that did so to his own son. So, those neighbors of yours, don't treat them like they're criminals. They're just trying to innocently give the kiddos some sweets. This warning regards a phenomenon that has no apparent origin. What I mean is, no one is really sure of where it comes from. The candy in question isn't even so. You can't purchase it at any stores, and looking it up online results in no result. The candy, this aforementioned phenomenon, appears to be that of a cinnamon jawbreaker, not to be confused with the Atomic Fireball brand or any other similar sweet. It may resemble a red-tinted gumball or a red lollipop with no stick. The point being, it's rather generic in appearance, which makes it tricky to spot the real deal. The candy is sometimes branded under the H.H. Sweets Company, a corporation that doesn't exist, at least not one registered by any agency since 1999. If you search the internet, you might find some H.H. Sweet businesses, but I assure you, they aren't the real deal. Merely a namesake coincidence. If the label carries the HH name, beneath it, a tagline will read something to the effect of,
hot as hell, sweet as heaven.
Not all of the candies...
Hey, thanks for letting me shine.
Anytime. Not all of the candies sport the branding, but it certainly helps to spot it. This is why I advise if you find yourself, or your kids, with an unmarked red candy, the safest bet is to throw the sucker away. Documentation of the phenomenon only dates back to 2007, but there is the possibility that it's gone on for far longer. As of this recording, a known 9 people have ingested the candy, 4 of which being children under the age of 18. Each case has happened on October 31st, with the most cases occurring during 2016, with a total of 3 victims.
One of them was Gandhi. That's how he went out.
That could be true.
Yeah. It was in the paper. I saw it. Which is weird because I thought that he went on a hunger strike and then he's caving in for a red gumball.
Each case has happened on October 31st, with the most cases occurring during 2016. With a total of 3 victims, the only clues as to the candy's appearance and branding is through the eyes of witness and subsequent investigations of any nearby and opened candy wrappers. Each of the victims' corpses, aside from the heads, remains untouched. Aside from the heads, hang on.
What happened to the heads?
Yeah, what's up with the heads? The heads, however, we would have waited 3 seconds, got the answer, are where things get strange. Each of the heads is completely burnt.
Oh!
Like a used match.
Oh!
Whoa. All right. Okay. All right. You got me.
I think these are just those hot balls. I think they got it all mixed up. It's just a bunch of...
probably like hot tamales because that candy fucking sucks. I hate that candy.
It's just stupid. A bunch of white guys eating hot candy for the first time and their heads go on fire.
Yeah. This this would make identification of the victims troublesome, except for the fact that fingerprint analysis lent itself fittingly to the nature of these deaths, considering the hands of the deceased were completely intact. None of the victims were related in any way, with the only exception being a father and his 9-year-old daughter, Andy and Mary Kay Winfield, from Lexington, Virginia. All of the others shared no relation other than the aforementioned Canny. We're just going to do a quick little check. I'm really feeling this so far. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like when people's heads get on fire.
That's pretty rad.
It's not much cooler than someone's head being on fire, last I checked.
An eyewitness report from Brevard, North Carolina, I don't know if I said that right, documented the full story behind the mysterious death of a 12-year-old boy, Shane Davis, who died on the Halloween of 2009.
That's probably a good one to go out on.
I was literally just going to say, is it really cool or really not cool dying on Halloween?
I don't know. I also hope this isn't a real kid.
That would suck, but too late now. I was leaving the pharmacy at around 8:30 when it happened. He, Davis, was walking down the block in a zombie costume. I didn't even notice him at first because it was dark and the costume was dark. But then there was this flash of orange light, like someone lighting a candle. I turned around and this heat wave hit me in the face, and the smell, oh Lord, it smelled like cooked meat. His head was on fire. There were people screaming, but there was nothing we could do. He screamed only for a moment, then he hit the pavement. I'll never unsee it. There were rumors it was a hex from a witch or something. I'm not a superstitious man, but when you see something like that, superstition doesn't seem too far off, you know? That's crazy.
That kid must have been a demon. He must have been like dipping kids' faces in the toilet bowl and like throwing little guys in the garbage. Like, if a witch is hexing him, he had to be a bad boy.
Similar reports were documented for many of the other victims. Shortly after investigating the candy...
Ingesting the candy, silly. They ate it. They didn't investigate it. They put it in their bellies.
Oh, I know that I said investigating, and then you said ingesting, and I realized you were right. But then when you were correcting me, I thought I said injecting for a second, and then I was like, that's sick.
It's okay. I was just doing it in jest.
Oh, good. Shortly after ingesting the candy, the victim's head would burst into flames, and soon thereafter, the victim would succumb to the injury and die.
Whoa!
Many rumors and theories have since popped up surrounding the deaths in candy. Many include witches and spells, but some have garnered significant following beyond regional folklore. One of the most popular rumors cites the deaths as a result of the 1782 execution of Henry Hyson Cassidy, H.H. Cassidy, a candy maker from Ononcock, Virginia.
That's hilarious.
Sorry to anyone who lives in Ononcock, Virginia. The site of the first documented death from 2007. Cassidy, a local candy maker, was placed on trial for disappearances of 2 young girls from the neighboring town. Despite having no apparent motive for abducting 2 young girls, the candy maker was charged as a reasonable suspect, having access to sweets for alluring the children. Following a local investigation where one of the girls' bodies was discovered with candy in her pocket, Cassidy was charged with the murders.
Okay, kids do be eating candy.
Yeah, the kid probably stole the candy from his shop. Dude, this guy just had the worst week of his life. Some little girl came in and stole half of his fucking stock, and then she like winds up dead, and they're like, "Oh, we know you did it. We see her candy, you piece of shit.
We know you did it. Oh, yes, you did."
And this poor bastard is like, "No, I swear, she took my candy. I just lost 100." This is... When the hell was this, too?
1762.
1782. He's like, "Bro, I just lost out on $2.50. How am I going to pay rent this month?"
I bet kids didn't keep candy in their pockets as much back then, you know? Nowadays,
I don't know. I feel like they did. I feel like they were always stealing candy because their families couldn't afford it.
No, look at this. This is a time where there was a man in this town, and his job was to make candy. That doesn't exist anymore. Like he was the one place in town probably where you could go
exactly.
Get a
so why wouldn't the kids go into the one place in town to go steal the candy all the time?
The demand was high because kids love candy, but the supply was probably pretty damn low. I'm thinking,
if the demand was so high, then why is he killing kids? That's right, I said it.
I haven't figured it out yet.
All right, well, let's keep reading. Maybe we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Following a local investigation where one of the girls' bodies was discovered with candy in her pocket, Cassidy was charged with the murders and sentenced to death. Children from the town who once loved the sweets made by the candy maker began calling Cassidy the Witch of Ononcock, making him one of the earliest male witches of legend.
The Witch of Ononcock.
Badass. That sounds like a Call of Duty like tag. Being found guilty in a hasty trial, Cassidy was sentenced to death by molten metal. A process considered barbaric, except in a case of an accused witch. Cassidy, who swore his innocence until his death, had a molten metal ball dropped into his throat.
Oh!
While a quick death, it was certainly not painless. The townsfolk remarked that justice was served on that day, and the body was buried in a shallow grave. Oh my god, no wonder the kid's head's light on fire.
Just imagine just like sticking this big molten ball I happen to have on me right now right into my throat, then I die.
Do it.
It won't fit.
Lame.
I tried yesterday.
Lame. Given that Andy and Mary Kay Winfield were also from Virginia, many speculated that the spirit of Cassidy...
Okay, he lives in Ononcock and they live in Virginia. That's pretty funny because they both are sex jokes.
Brilliant. Okay. Given that Andy and Mary Kay Winfield were also from Virginia, many speculated that the spirit of Cassidy returned to punish those responsible for his death, using his signature candy as a way to torment the descendants of his accusers. The name, too, H.H. Cassidy, would explain the name on the wrapper's H.H. Sweets.
Oh, we figured it out.
Another popular theory is usually referred to as the jack-o'-lantern story, based on the Irish myth, the story that a man known as Stingy Jack tricked the devil on multiple occasions, resulting in his banishment from hell, as well as heaven. He was a trickster at heart. The man, forced to roam the earth, lit coal within a turnip and has been using it ever since to light his eternal path. The story, clearly rooted in the Halloween tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns, has been used to explain the candy too. Stingy Jack, as he's referred, seeks out souls to join him in his eternal punishment. The candy, which burns the heads of its consumers, turns them into somewhat crude jack-o'-lantern. This would explain the fiery demise of the victims, as well as its connection to the celebration of Halloween. I feel like that one has a lot less standing than the guy whose initials were HH, and he had a big fiery metal ball jammed down his throat.
Yeah. Jack-o'-lanterns also are way different than a guy with his head burned off.
And also not turnips.
It's turnip. More like turn up.
Yeah.
Are you looking up what turnip looks like? I can tell your type. Are you looking up a turnip?
Wow. Okay. I was going to ask this as part of the video, but then I was like, nah, if I'm wrong, I'm going to look really, really stupid. The original jack-o'-lanterns were carved from turnips. That's why it's a turnip. I kind of thought I'd heard that before and was like, maybe that's why. Okay, interesting.
Why is that the scariest photo I've ever seen in my life?
Huh?
Look up turnip jack-o'-lantern. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yes. It's from National Geographic.
Ooh, whoa.
Yeah.
You gotta put a picture of that in the video. Holy sh...
Oh, I will. That's going in the thumbnail, buddy. Jeez. Horrible.
That's awful. In conjunction with the Stingy Jack narrative, there are some who conclude that the candy is the work of the devil himself, tormenting unsuspecting holiday celebrators with death merely for the fun of it. A rather sick trick, yes, but then again, mischief is commonplace in the celebration of Halloween. That's a bit farther from mischief. There's There's like right here we got TPing your neighbor's house. Here's like getting a bag of dog poop and lighting it on fire, which is like a little bit higher because like that's a little wild. And then it's like burning kids' heads, just like right. It's just like a kind of a jump.
Dude, one time I was trick-or-treating with my buddy Jack in the 5th grade, and we knocked on the door, good old-fashioned trick-or-treat, and then usually they just give you a treat, but instead this lady pulled out a shotgun and blew his fucking head off, and now she's in jail, and it's ruined me. There was chunks everywhere.
As for this theory,
my white pillowcase was covered in blood.
As for this theory, the HH label would stand for Hell's Hottest or some other variation of the Hell alliteration. Lame. I prefer HH Cassidy.
As do I.
Despite these varying backstories to the candy, there is far more grounded explanation that many have subscribed to. Rather than reading into the HH Sweets mythology, some conclude that HH Sweets is precisely what it claims to be, a candy company. The motive for committing these crimes is, at large, still a mystery, but this theory cuts out the claims of ghosts and devils, suggesting instead that a select few sickos had the willpower to conjure up sweets with the intent to kill. In the end, no one theory is correct, at least not one that can be confirmed by traditional means. A candy that is, for lack of a better term, supernatural, can only be explained by the supernatural, making it extremely difficult to verify any of the information regarding it. If you wish to avoid the grisly results of the candy, it is advised to always check your children's Halloween candy. Better yet, avoid the trick-or-treating tradition altogether. Or, if you're highly concerned, perhaps it would be best to simply skip Halloween altogether. And that is the end of Always Check the Candy.
That felt very folktale-y.
Yeah, I liked that.
Mythology, like, this is like, I feel like this could be an intro to a movie where there's like a old grandpa sitting at a coffee table.
It feels like it would be an intro to like another trick or treat movie. Like this feels like something they would say in like something.
That's
like
what I'm saying, dude. It's good. It's not. My timbers aren't shivered by any means, but it's putting me in the right headspace for Halloween.
Yeah, like, that was a very good Halloween story. Good pick on our part.
I want to go get a pumpkin chai now.
I was a big fan of the story. What would you say?
Yeah, I really liked it. It's definitely a different pace than a lot of the things we've read, which I kind of like. It felt very like classic. Like I said, it feels good to read near Halloween because although it's not scary, this is like a story you would like see on like, not saying this in a demeaning way at all, but like this is like a Disney Channel story that like a plot of like a Halloween special would be or something. This like weird instance, this candy's appearing. It's really good.
Like juxtaposition too from like the creepypastas that we've been reading. It's not very creepypasta-y. So like it's a nice change of pace from like a Momo, which was like this fast paced, like everything is supposed to be scary and of like a nice little like, yeah, it's a little spooky. You'll be thinking about this next time you see a red piece of candy.
The dichotomy of it all.
If you enjoyed this video, then comment that you did. Boom.
Yeah, come back next time. Let us know what you want to see from us. Like, subscribe, all that bull stuff. We gotta go. We got stuff to do.